everybody, this is lunch break. You see this whole crowd of humans here, and they are currently waiting to get lunch. So while I have this opportunity and some silence, I'm gonna walk around and we'll show you the cars. This is the Volvo 2021 Volvo Club of America National Meet. There is a full video on this two-door Amazon wagon build by another David, and why don't we start here? This is actually a beautiful car to do it. David Calvin from Pennsylvania. And this car is just awesome. So the full video will talk about the 16-valve turbo build, how he did the two-door conversion, and all that stuff. So this is a 122, it's green, and it's really got a cool old badge. This looks like an original car, but it's, oh no, it's not. I'll be dipped. That's so great. They kind of modified the firewall to make this engine fit in here too. I don't know much about old V8s, and I'm not sure where it's from, but it's kind of cool that it's still carbureted. A lot of V8 swaps tend to be fuel injected. Little shoulder sunburn, I can relate. Nice. I think it's a 67, gotta be a late 67 with that steering wheel, and those door handles, yeah, into 68. But I thought 68 would have the reflectors on the side, so it could just be a weird mid-year. Look at these chunky guys back there. Really cool. Something tells me that a lot of this is just original paint, original interior, etc. Oh, that looks really great. So this is the same color, I think it was 97 yellow or 95. Same color as Genevieve. This is a four-door sheepskin cover. I call this Golden Retreat seat covers. There we've got our dashboard. Everything looks pretty good. Nice green interior, pretty much the same as Genevieve, but a four-door. Beautiful car. Behind us, oh yes, this is the guy who's running the page, Eric. He's right there, hiding. And he is running the 164 page on Facebook, which is a great resource. They actually have a lot of PDFs of different files and parts catalogs and stuff like that, including a lot of great questions for a car that doesn't have much in terms of publicity for some of the services, which is where my videos have kind of helped fill in the void and all that. Beautiful center hubcaps and then the rings, beauty rings all around. This is a really great car. Eric was saying that he actually grew up in this car in the back, and he had pockets originally in the back, and the whole wood dash is in there. It's a non-overdrive 4-speed, but she's looking really good, and those red leather seats are just gorgeous. Yeah, what a cool little survivor. He's still got the Strombergs, but he's running individual filters on them. He does have a charcoal canister, which is running to the forward vent. So if my Strombergs had a forward vent, they would have a charcoal canister. I like the horn on that, that's kind of fun. The big York AC compressor. I'm curious if he's actually got AC in it or not. Is this the original purchase ticket?
Yeah.
Well, you know you're in Virginia when they just abbreviate Arlington, ARL.
Is that abbreviated on the sales ticket?
Yeah.
Wow. That's my dad's handwriting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Were they a Volvo family before? Is this their first?
This is their second.
Okay, what was before this?
We had a 122 wagon.
I'm curious if he's still running AC in this thing, but it's gorgeous. Next to him is Joel's 1971 142E, 250,000 miles. He's owned this car for 35 plus years, and it is so cool. He's got Mega Squirt 2 on it, a high performance build. He's thinking it's about 170 horsepower with the 9-pound flywheel. He had to do a really neat crank sensor there on the trigger wheel for the crank pulley. But just this thing is really neat. Joel is a career pharmacist, and I call him Doc because he reminds me a lot of Doc Brown. It's a beautiful car. I just love the paint on it. And the underside of the car has also been ceramic coated, so it is spotless. Loving it. Nice. Colville Griffith and his 1970 145E. This car, she got the name Sally O. Sally O. Oh, look, the gas cap's on this side, opposite of the wagon, the 220 wagon. Salio was the original owner of this car, and Colville bought it. And so he went and actually found relations of the original owner who had since passed, and I got to drive this car. It is so much fun. And then I learned that it has Strombergs as well. Not quite sure which B20s got the Strombergs or if it was the B18Bs that had Strombergs, but he's got Strombergs, and it is so much fun to drive this car. She's a beauty, and it's the only 140 wagon in the show. Here's where I have a little bit of beef with the show is in the voting categories, which I have to go through and put in my votes. Every 544, 444, 210, 120, 130, 220, 140, and 164 are all in one group. So there's only one prize category for all those guys. However, the P1800s have been split into two categories. The E and ES, and then everything older, the P1800S, the P1800, and the 1800. I don't know if they distinguish that much between them, but it is, it's kind of weird because there's like 6 of those cars and about 16 of us. So it is what it is. And there's Tom sporting my Ivy shirt. He looks good in it, man. It's a great shirt. All right, the 544s. This is a 1959 from Pennsylvania. This belongs to Mark Wanamacher. And oh, I love it. I love those interiors. That's the best steering wheel out of all the Volvos. This is my favorite steering. The gauge cluster very reminiscent to the 122s. They just cover the bottom. And it's got the early instrument with the colored lights and the chrome rings on them. This is a beautiful car. Looks like it's been in the family a long time, but I'll have to find Mark and get the real story on it. Another really cool 544. In 1962, Volvo switched to the B18 engine. That was the debut of that 1.8 liter. So if any of these are older than 62, it's likely that they'll have the B16 or they will have switched over to the B18. This B18 PV544 is from 1966. I think 62 is also when they went to 12 volt. This one's a 59, so it'll have the 16 unless it's been swapped over. This is the B18. And then this is my favorite out of all of them. The easiest way to spot a B16 is everything's a little different. The starter is on the other side, valve cover's usually in the middle, 2 big bolts holding the valve cover down, and everything looks more militaristic, I guess, and simple with this green color. I can imagine the military using this car. He still has the shutter chain that goes to the front to lift up and cover the radiator in cold climates. That's because Volvo 444, what year? I think Volvo came to the States in 1956. So, also being from Illinois, I guess that chain would have come standard on them. But if you've ever wondered what this little tube is on the radiator, it's for the chain that runs through, and you can pull it to raise up the shutter. Some stuff about this car that is also really easy to spot between a 544 and a 444. The 444s have a split front windshield. Some of the really early ones have a split rear windshield, if I have that correct. I like that they all have a forward hinged hood. I'm a big sucker for that. It just makes the show look so much cooler. They have a flat steering wheel. I actually bought one of these wheels last night at the parts swap, and you'll notice the instrument, there's no dash pad. There's a cover on the instrument cluster and then a nice sort of clock face center there, whereas all of these use a traditional, or I guess what we're used to, like the 122s, a foam pad that's molded and everything. Another cool thing, the turn signals are right here on these, and the rear brakes are up high, so that leaves this to be completely smooth, which I think is beautiful. But then when they added these brake lights to the rear, it was just a simple add-on to them, but very cool. There has been one instance at least where I've chased down a 40s Ford Fastback thinking I was following a 544. I'm just regurgitating all the information that I have on here, Spence. I'm trying to be like, this is the differences between the 544 and the 444, and let's appreciate everything. And my voice hurts. I've been talking all day. But we're good. All right. The grills are also another big difference. I think the funny thing with every model, and you may notice this, the early years got all the bling, and then they started going down into like, let's simplify costs and reduce the expense to make the car and maximize profits. But I just love the earlier of everything. The original 122s, the early 444s, even the 164. You know, later they got rid of I don't know about the 164, the 140s, they got rid of the wheel arch trim and they kind of started putting matte plastic, and then the 240, everything became plastic.
Well, the 164 was always my favorite. My good buddy had a 144, a 1970 model in puke green, but it handled so nicely. But that was always one of my favorites. So another little story, one of my neighbors had a green, same color green.
Yeah.
This is back in 1971. Had a green Rolls Royce, brand new, and one of my other neighbors had a green 164.
Yeah.
I fell in love with the Rolls Royce. And that would come down the road, and I said, but I'd rather have this.
There was a lady in Phoenix when I was making my first drive. She was like, we were looking at this in the parking lot. My husband owns an old Lotus Europa. I was like, never heard of that. And I looked it up, never seen one before. But she goes, I thought this was a Rolls Royce. And I went, you know what? You just made the last 8 months of work all justified. It was great. Yeah, because this is Volvo punching up. They were really trying to like, let's match Lincoln, let's match Mercedes, and it lasted longer, that's for sure. Because but it's so fun.
But really, it's amazing. The only difference really between the 144 and the 164 is the grille and the headlights.
Yeah.
Same dash, same rear end.
The nose is longer too. So if you look at where the front wheel arch closes off to the front of the headlights, it's a little bit bigger. Kind of where the headlight is, they kind of elongated that. But yeah, mostly everything behind the firewall, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Which is why getting parts can be really good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd really be struggling if it was something like this, low volume production, or even the 210s. But yeah, I love the 164s, as you know.
No, that's. I was very happy to watch the evolution of your channel go from something that interested me, the S60, and then all my other favorite ones. All the people you met.
Shucks.
Actually, what really hit it was I consider myself to be a Volvo guy. And when I saw you out in California in the P1900, the 1956 the original owner, I was like, how did I not know about this?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a unicorn.
I don't know about it. Who else doesn't know about it?
Yeah.
Pretty much 99.9% of the world.
That's why I was happy to be able to get the opportunity to make the video and drive the car later, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's what I learned about the difference between watching and subscribing and watching.
There you go, everybody. It's free to subscribe, so go ahead and push those buttons. All right. Thanks, Spence.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, here is the Duets. Oh, the beautiful, beautiful cars. This is the same color combination as my car, Bruce, which was modeled to be a 56 Volvo. The two-tone is really cool in this because it's actually 3 sections having a blue roof. I think that really, these body lines lend themselves to that division perfectly. Let's start here. This is a 65 210. They're from Hammerstown, Pennsylvania, and it's Ambrose Buck. This car is purchased in Arlingsås, Sweden. Arlingsås. I hope I'm saying that right. Imported in 1988. Driven from San Diego. Awesome. A lot of good California cars coming out there. I wonder if that's the fuel filler door. I don't know much about the 210s, but I love the 210 badge on the center there. That's so great. Yeah, these are really cool. You know, it's funny how you start with the appreciation of like 1 or 2 models, and then later you discover more and more, and then you can really appreciate everything. Now, rumor has it the owner of this 210, which says 445 versus the other one that just says 210. I'm curious how that all works, because check this out. Well, she's a 65. Oh, of course. How could I do this? It's a 4 Series, and this is the 445. Are you?
I'm a fan.
What's your name?
My name's Ambrose.
Ambrose. So this is yours.
This is mine.
And I was just noticing.
This is a Swedish car.
It's
not a
it
US
says it's
car.
got a 210 badge.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, 210. Yeah.
But then they wouldn't have had the same badge for the Duets in the States. But then this is also a 445, so it's a different badge.
Yeah. So this is an earlier car. This is a later car.
Yeah. Much like those two there, side by side.
Right.
But
so the biggest difference for a Swedish car
let me flip
versus
this around. The biggest difference in the Swedish to American market. Here we go.
So the U.S. cars had SUs.
Oh, yeah.
It's a B18.
What is that, a Solex?
This is a single Solex.
Oh my goodness.
So this is the biggest difference between a U.S. car and a Swedish car.
Yeah.
I mean, not to mention the Swedish on the dash and the Swedish, kilometers and all that.
Yeah.
But this is what they had in Sweden.
About 80 horsepower, are you making?
Probably closer to 60.
60. Leo, which one was yours of these here?
Mine's right across.
The blue one.
It's almost the same color as this guy. It's a B20 motor, though.
It is a B20. Okay.
Yeah,
The other Swedish feature,
Look at these big wheels.
block heater.
Block heater.
Block heater with the European plug on it.
1 o'clock.
It's just there.
It's there. Yeah.
The other thing I want to make note of is you get your balance
I gotta
in.
keep
Voting
going on.
definitely ends
Yeah,
by 2
no
o'clock.
problem. No problem.
Thanks for showing
Yeah.
me that.
Balance
Yeah,
I
in.
mean, you've got so many of the original stickers
Oh
on
yeah,
things.
it's a very original car. The interior's original, the engine,
I
everything's
almost imagine
original.
you like cover this while you even watch the exterior just so it doesn't get wet. But
you know,
it's amazing that it's lasted that long.
Yeah.
I mean, the car, I'm not surprised, but the stickers are what's really kind of cool. Yeah. Wow. Excellent. And you repainted, I imagine?
Repainted in the 80s.
In the 80s.
And then about 2005, I redid all the suspension, the kingpins, the bushings, you know. all
I
that
learned
sort of
about kingpins for the first time about a week ago when I did the 544.
Yeah, well then you know all about the bushings and reaming it.
It
and all
was
that.
it was a cool thing, but like
Yeah.
really strange. But I like how there's almost very minimal rubber and everything.
Right.
But I wonder how it feels too.
Oh, it drives fantastic.
I can only imagine. And the bigger tires, do you find that it's harder, you know, just for everyday driving?
Have 2 t-shirts.
You should drive it.
2 t-shirts.
I'd love to.
Extra
You should
large.
drive
That would be great,
Good
man.
night, shirt.
Wow, I hope we got a chance to do that.
Yeah, well, whenever you're ready, you
right.
turn the key, it starts, you know, you just drive it.
Thanks. Wow. But this is B18?
V18.
Yeah.
4-speed.
And they would have had the 16 originally.
No.
No, wait, what year is this again? 65. Oh, yeah. So
yeah.
you're already past that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 62. Okay.
So 488 rear.
488. Wow.
Yeah, stock.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's a hauler.
I went with a taller tire to kind of help.
I got you. So now you can cruise a little bit more. Awesome. Hey, thanks so much. Ambrose?
Yeah,
Okay.
guys are
Pleasure to
ready.
meet you.
We're going for chamois. We're going for the chamois.
What are they doing now?
Ready to go.
Oh, they're throwing
Way out
stuff.
deep. Shall I go way out deep, center?
Oh, they're throwing stuff.
We're going. Well, that was a slight curve to,
All right.
to my right.
Now this is the earlier one. So
Here we go. Another one. Oh, I thought
my
I'd go
goodness.
further than that.
is
All
this
right.
a vent tube? The whole side of the engine is, and then
What a
there's this.
catch! I'll tell you what, interception.
Yo, I'm trying to record here, all right, Mr. Hired DJ. All right, Bruce Herwold. So it's funny because this car matches my Bruce from Bruce Adams, and here it is, Bruce Herwold. Original. This is the HS4. So it's the 1/2, 4/8, so 1/2 inch throat, 1 and 1.5, I think. And there's a firing order sticker. I can't multitask. I gotta just show you stuff while he's talking. Beautiful. Restored dash, restored wheel, restored interior, everything.
Hey, we're gonna mix it up with a t-shirt on.
Ooh, just saw get a vote.
That's way out. Nobody out there. That's what the play was, to go way deep. All right, heads up. Here we go.
I gotta
All
use
right, we
this
still have a couple more yet to go.
insert
Are we ready?
shots.
We're going out. Right out there.
Gotta
That
move
is
quick.
definitely a steal.
Gotta move
I
quick.
love it. I love that steal. I'm telling you what, I want to replay that if anybody had that one captured. Man, you learned from them. Go high. All right, here we go. Way deep.
Randy Watson just had this finished. It's a 123 GT restoration. I think he just had it finished.
Extra large. What size you wear?
Check out my video for the 123 GT. The only thing I would say, Randy, if you're watching this, is change to the regular plastic ones because these,
I'm going way down.
it's not very likely it'll unscrew itself. It's a short hose on either side, but those tend to be kind of troublesome.
Great job, guys.
You know Ivy,
Great job.
5,000-mile road
Thanks for
trip on a
stopping by
rebuilt
here. My
B30.
cost that I had, my arms
Started here in
off,
Albuquerque,
couple little pictures
Phoenix.
today.
Ended up in California for a day, went down to San Diego, Anaheim, bounced around a little bit, Vegas, Zion, Grand Junction, Fort Collins, Denver, back to Albuquerque, Amarillo, Oklahoma, Little Rock, Nashville, and then one straight shot up to Gettysburg. 5,000 miles and counting. Would you give it a rest over there? Híjole. People have been dropping off parts for me. That's been really kind of cool. Free literature, and I'm selling my t-shirts.
Swedish Motors, thank you.
Look at her.
Lehman Volvo cars.
Look
are
at
other
her.
sponsors. Ken Pollock, Volvo.
Air conditioned, fuel injected, 1972. You can tell because the front bumper is skinny. VSA badge on the left matches the Swedish Auto Club badge that I have. And then there's the Volvo Club America on the right.
I play all across the board, all for you.
73. Beautiful leather. Sport cluster. 4-speed with the overdrive switch in the middle. Black on gold. What a combination. A deadly combination. Can't go wrong with black and gold. Okay. Bill and Julie Hill from Wake Forest. I thought they said Lake Forest. I was like, there's one of those in California. This looks like leather, but it might just be old vinyl that's textured that way. But this is really cool. An early Amazon, basically. 64 and younger, so let's see. I can guess. 1963. So that means it'll have the really nice trunk handle. Oh, it sure does. Oh, it sure does. Gorgeous. Okay. And that's it for section 1. Why don't we do this? Let's wrap up this video and we'll do a part 2 video where we get into the P1800s, including Irv Gordon's famous 3.5 million mile car. Tell me he doesn't look like Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's gotten a little corporate.
There's a really cool bar that I like to go down there.
Tell me he doesn't look like Leonardo DiCaprio.